Hello and welcome. I'm Sara Landon. Thank you for being here for our very special March 22nd Master's Class Channeled Call. This is a special call today to continue to provide you with support and guidance and a grander perspective of navigating these current times with more ease, more grace, and an opportunity for you to remember the truth of who you are and why you are here and what you intended when you chose this life experience that you are living. Life really is meant to be good for us. As we look at times like this, it is an important reminder that in each and every opportunity, we can reconnect with our soul, reconnect with the source that is always guiding us, and go within to find the peace and the ease and to reconnect with the freedom of your soul, which is always available to you. On today's call, I want to share a few things that I believe will be very helpful during this time. As we go through the message, I want to share some particular things that have been very, very helpful to myself and others. And then we will transition into a channeled message from the Council. If you are new to the Council, you're in for an incredible and amazing experience, and I invite you to just open your heart and allow yourself to hear whatever is in your highest good at this time. This is a gift you give yourself to be here in this energy and to reconnect with a greater perspective and a greater potential for navigating these times. We all cope in different ways. We all approach situations like this differently. And one of the important things I want to remind us all today is one of the most important teachings of the Council, which is that any time we are in judgment of ourselves or another or any situation, we entangle. We entangle with the fear, we entangle with the chaos, we entangle with the feelings of helplessness or overwhelm. And it is in those times that it is important to take a breath and stay conscious, put some loving space around yourself, and reconnect with your inner knowing. And one of the things that I have found so very helpful is to remember in this time to allow others to cope with this current event in whatever way they are choosing. Do not judge others for their coping strategies. I know in moments since we have gone into stay-at-home orders in the state that I live in the country that I live in, I've observed a lot of my friends and family members respond to this differently. And in moments when I was in judgment of how others were coping, I found myself instantly feeling fear and overwhelm. And it's really important during this time to practice, not judging others, any other, for how they are coping with these times and their own response to maybe feelings of being scared or vulnerable or in fear or uncertain. We all deal with these things differently. So if you remember one important thing from this call, I really hope you will find it helpful to notice when you are judging others and how they're coping, and to take a moment to go deeper, to take a breath, come back into your own being, into your own experience, and remember not to judge others during this time and how they're coping with these current events. I also want to share some things that I have found to be very, very helpful. This is a practice. The wisdom and the teachings that the Council brings through to us are of a much higher perspective of our human experience. They have a much grander awareness of what is going on, and it is always a practice. And so you might notice times when you're feeling a little sensitive. You might notice times that you're feeling a bit of fear. You might notice times in all of this where you feel a little bit lost or uncertain. And this is when we go back to the simple things where we can always come back into an alignment with ourselves, with our truth, and our inner knowing. I had a very interesting experience one day into the stay-at-home orders in the state that I live in. And I had finished up client sessions for that day, and it was at the end of the day. And normally at that time, I walk my dogs down a beautiful road that is surrounded with nature, but it's usually around 5 o'clock. There's lots of traffic and lots of cars. And I very rarely see other people walking. And on the first day of the stay-at-home orders, I went outside to walk my dogs. And this hill that I walk is about a mile straight up. And for the first time ever in the many years I have lived here and walked this hill, I did not encounter one car, but instead, up ahead of me, I could see people out walking their dogs, walking with their spouse. I saw a group of friends walking a few feet apart from each other. And as far as I could see up this hill were people out in nature walking. And I was so touched in that moment of just seeing people getting back to the simple ways that we experience joy and live our life fully, even in challenging times. So as I go through 5 things that have been really helpful for me to practice and remember during these times, I think one of the most important ones is nature. And while we are still in a time where we are allowed to go out and be out in nature and go for walks and other things, I really encourage you to take the time to reconnect with nature, to spend some time outside, to feel the beautiful sunshine on your face, turn the TV off, turn the social media off, turn the computer off, turn the text messages off, and go outside and take a few deep breaths and reconnect with yourself. If you feel comfortable doing so, one of the things I find so helpful is to lay on the ground and just feel the earth beneath you supporting you, looking up at the sky, looking around at the trees and the birds, and just remember that you are part of something so much greater, and that you are supported, and you are connected, and you are loved. Animals can also be an incredible saving grace during this time if you're fortunate enough to have pets and animals in your life, like many of us are. But if you do not, I encourage you to spend some time in nature and just notice the birds and the butterflies and the squirrels and the little animals, and really just feel into that connection with nature. It is very grounding. It puts things in perspective very quickly. And what I have found in those moments where I feel a little overwhelmed, if I will just take a breath and go outside and breathe and sit on the grass and feel connected, I instantly feel a much higher awareness. I feel my own vibration raising, and it feels really good. Also remembering to breathe. Deep, conscious breaths at this time are really helpful for you to reconnect, get centered, put some space around you, and really be able to feel your own truth, your own presence in the moment. The third thing is, something very interesting. There is an incredible article that has come from a doctor, I believe in Spain, who is navigating through this time with insight from Chinese doctors who believe they better understand the coronavirus based on autopsies that they have done on people who passed away from the virus. And one of the key themes of this was helpful things that you can do and things that they have learned. But one of the most important things that really stood out to me was drinking hot water with lemon. They suggested slicing up a lemon, putting it in a cup, and then pouring hot water over the lemon, letting it sit for a few moments, and then drinking that as often as possible throughout the day. Number one, it's an incredible comforting thing. It's drinking warm water, but the lemon is believed to actually help kill the virus, and it is alkaline in nature, and they believe very strongly that it can help protect people and flush any of the virus out of their system. The interesting thing about that is about a year ago, I felt very guided to plant this little tiny lemon tree I had in a pot out in my yard. And over the last year, it has grown big and beautiful, and every day it has tons and tons of lemons on it. And I remember wondering about a month ago, why do I have all of these lemons all of a sudden? And in the moment I was reading and listening to that information about drinking hot water with lemon, I just smiled. I had chills in every part of my body, and I knew that was a connection, a guidance to navigating this time, and a reminder that we always have everything we need and more if we open ourselves and allow ourselves to be guided. The fourth thing is something that I often forget when I get in a state of a little bit of overwhelm or even exhaustion or, just needing some pick-me-up. One of the most wonderful things is to turn on a beautiful piece of music. Turn on music that you like. Find music on YouTube or whatever means that you like to find and enjoy and explore music. But I have found as often throughout the day as I turn some music on and just let myself be immersed in the beautiful harmony and vibration of music, I find my own being moving into a deeper state of harmony. And as the Council has shared with us, a big part of the opportunity with these current events is to find balance and harmony within yourself. And sometimes music is such a wonderful way to come into harmony. So it seems sort of obvious, but I realized a couple of days ago that there was something sort of off in my balanced state. There was something sort of off in my own feeling of harmony, and I realized I hadn't been listening to any music. Normally I have wonderful pieces of music on or artists that I really like playing, and I hadn't had that on for a few days. And when I went back to doing that, it was one thing that really helped to uplift me. So just a reminder, find some beautiful music, whether you're in the mood to be uplifted and playful or come into a deeper state of harmony or peace. There's wonderful, wonderful music out there, and I encourage you to do so. The fifth thing, and again, something that just seems simple and obvious, but we forget sometimes, especially when we're inundated with information and fear and news. Do something creative. Do some sort of project. Get a piece of paper and a pencil and draw or color, journal, knit, sew, paint, play a musical instrument, plant something in the garden, plant something in a pot, do something that feels creative, where you are so immersed in what you're doing that you are just so present that it seems like time and space sort of disappear. It's a really wonderful way to get back into alignment, a state of balance and harmony, to elevate your vibration, whatever it is for you that feels creative. I encourage you to do so during this time. So I hope those things are helpful. They've been very, very helpful for me. I know we can all feel inundated at this time with information and multiple different things that people hear being passed around. And it's really important to just remember some simple things to get back into balance, to an inner state of harmony, which always connects us to our heart and our soul. I think for many people, the three biggest concerns are your health and well-being. I truly believe the more you can stay in a state of inner balance and harmony and in tune with your body and use simple things like deep breaths and drinking lemon in hot water are very simple things that you can do. There's many, many other helpful things out there, but those things work for me. So the fear of being unwell, remember that there is always a opportunity to elevate your vibration to a state of consciousness where your well-being is assured, where you are always in a state of perfect health. And the more you connect with that, the better you will feel, and the healthier, better sense of well-being you will experience. I think one of the other fears that people have right now is the fear of confinement, isolation, losing your freedom. And the Council reminds us that we can always remember and reconnect with the freedom of our soul. There is an infinite potential available for you in every moment. There is absolute freedom available to you in every moment. And even if you are feeling like you are confined or unable to experience external freedom, maybe this is happening so that you once and for all will remember and reconnect with the freedom of your soul that will expand you and offer you a much higher perspective of who you are and why you are here and what is possible for you. I believe the third thing that people are very worried about at this time is having ample supplies and resources in the way of food and other resources that we use on a daily basis, and having those things not be available or in supply. And I'm going to go back to one of the core, most important teachings of the Council, which is galore, galore. I always have everything I need and more. And if it feels better to you to just say, I have everything I need and more, or I always have everything I need and more, I encourage you now more than ever to practice this. The Council tells us that if we will follow the light and let the energy guide the way, you will always have everything you need and more. And you will know that things are happening for you, that everything is working out for you, and it's more important now than ever to be in the truth of that, to practice that, to affirm that, and to know that. And when we are worried about resources 3 weeks from now or 3 months from now, we will always find ourselves in a state of lack, which just draws the experience of lack to us even more. Remember that we simply get more of what we are. So when we are in the vibration of well-being, of freedom, of being satiated with everything we need in this moment, we continue to hold ourselves in a level of consciousness and awareness, and the energy will always guide the way for you to everything you need and more. And I know there are people that are in all different situations all over the world. But remember these simple practices to come back into the truth of who you are, back into a state of ease and grace within you, and it will help you navigate these times with much, much, much greater balance and harmony. So I hope you find those things helpful. I encourage you to look for the gifts in this time. We are going to emerge from this experience, and things will be different. There is no going back from here. We are moving forward, and things will be different. I feel for many of us after this sacred time, no matter how long it lasts, we will emerge on the other side with a whole new awareness and appreciation of our day-to-day life, our day-to-day balance and inner harmony, and how we interact with the outside world, meaning others, and our appreciation for time with others, meaning the environment and our appreciation for the environment, and the animals, and all of the resources that are on this planet for us. So it's more important now than ever that we hold the vision for a better world. It is a time to rise above the chaos, rise above the fear, and choose peace and harmony in your own life. Choose love, choose kindness, choose compassion, and be an example of a better way. Be the way showers that you are, each and every one of you. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the council now for a channeled message for us in this time. Whether you're hearing this live or in the future, whenever you hear it is the perfect time. This is a continuation of our March 15th, 2020 channeled message from the council that you can find on YouTube under Sara Landon Life on YouTube. If you want to find that message, or you can also go to my website, which is saralandon.com, and go to free resources to find that channeled message. If you have not heard that yet, I encourage you to listen to it in collaboration with this message. So if you are new to the council, they are a collective energy of higher consciousness and expanded awareness that is offering us a grander viewpoint, a easier, more effortless, harmonious way through this human experience, and an opportunity to remember the truth within you. And so if you're in a place that you can do so, I encourage you to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths as I do so myself, and allow my own thoughts to step aside for a moment as we invite in the beautiful wisdom and energy and love of the council. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you on this fine day indeed. We know that this appears to be challenging times in your human experience. We know it appears as if major change is underway, and we assure you it is. And we are here to remind you what you never intended to forget when you chose this magnificent life experience. There are many, many in a higher level of consciousness that are aware of you, that are guiding you, that are here for you during this time. You are never alone. We assure you, even in the moments when you feel the most fear, the most vulnerable, and the most alone, we assure you, you could not be. There are so many here focused on you in love, focusing a higher awareness, a higher consciousness, holding a higher awareness, holding a higher consciousness, so that you, in your moments of allowing, can reemerge with the truth within you and remember who you are and why you are here during this time of the great awakening of your human family. We'll tell you that many of you are experiencing a great amount of emotion, and we want to remind you why. You are experiencing a great amount of emotion because you so deeply love your human family. Many have been going through the motions of life and finding themselves triggered in reaction to your human family most of the time, more so than remembering the love that you have for humanity, or you would not be here. You came forth into this life experience, and your entire life experience has been preparing you for this time now. However, more specifically, the last 10 years of your human experience have been preparing you for this time. And many of you have seen a quickening and an acceleration of that over the last 1 to 2 to 3 years, where there seems to have been a sense of urgency to remember, to gain a higher level of consciousness, to elevate your vibrations, and to create an experience of heaven on earth within your own life. And all of that has been preparing you for this time now. Your human family is going through the Great Awakening. It has moved into the next phase, which is an accelerated phase where millions of people are going to awaken just as you have to the truth within them. Awakening is a journey. It is a journey that you never complete so long as you're in the human experience. There is always more. There is always elevated levels of consciousness. There is always an opportunity to accelerate your knowing and to raise your vibration, to allow more energy, more light, and more awareness into the human experience, into your human experience. There has been a quickening and acceleration in recent times as you have been preparing for this global event. We remind you, as we have said in other messages to you, this virus has a purpose and reason for being on the planet at this time, just like you have a purpose for being on this planet at this time. We tell you with a sense of urgency and importance to acknowledge, accept, and choose the line with the truth of this experience, which is, this is the most important time for the awakening of your human family and the opportunity for a raising of consciousness like never before. Do not be in a hurry to eliminate the discomfort you're feeling. Do not be in a hurry to complete this time. Do not be in a hurry to rid the world of this virus. Allow it to serve its purpose. If you remember how to get into a state of peace or align to the peace within you, an inner balance and inner harmony, you will navigate this time with great ease and without any resistance about how long this lasts. Many of you went through your own experiences over many years' time. Some of you went through your own awakening experiences in a very short amount of time. But for most all of you, your awakening experiences came in times of discomfort, where things had to change, but you were resisting the change because of fear, because of not remembering your power, because you didn't remember that there was a greater purpose for your life, because you didn't understand there was a grander perspective of what was going on in your life than what you could see or remember. And the same is true here. Whether this lasts a few weeks or several months is still to be determined. It is based on the free will choices of many, many, many people who chose this time for their awakening. It is also happening for you. It is also happening for you to step into higher dimensions of consciousness and seed human consciousness with a grander perspective to create a new paradigm of human existence and create paradigms within the human experience that are of a higher vibration, of a higher consciousness, which will bring greater love, greater joy, greater peace, greater harmony, and greater cooperation to all of humanity, to the planet, and to the animal life. You are going to experience innovation at a level that is unprecedented. You have had a speeding up of technology innovation for the past many years, but this is going to bring about innovation like a level you've never seen before in all sorts of categories. Allow it. Allow this time to take however long it needs to. Allow it to take whatever time is needed here for something really important to happen in human consciousness. If you are in resistance and pushing against, you are not holding the space to allow the grander perspective to unfold here and the great awakening to occur. It can absolutely happen with ease and grace for all. But that is not the experience at this time, because so many are in resistance and in fear and experiencing chaos. But every moment, whatever you are feeling within you is what you are contributing to humanity or to the greater whole at this time. This is an incredible opportunity for you to start creating and living in new paradigms of consciousness within the human experience. It starts with you creating a new paradigm within you. This is a gift and an opportunity to look at your life, your choices, your thinking, your behavior, your health, your well-being, your relationships, your purpose, your passion, your joys, and to transform your life to be everything you wish it to be here and now. As you make the transformations within you and you create a new paradigm within you, you then begin to create a new paradigm within your families, within your communities, and in the world as a whole. But it starts with you, and then it extends into your direct proximity, and then it extends into your family circles and friend circles, and then it extends into your communities. But this is the time, we assure you, where the opportunity to create a new paradigm within human existence it is available to you like never before. You have the time, the space, the freedom, right here and now, to hold the vision of a new earth moving into form within the human experience. And with any luck and a whole lot of love, you will see transformation occur like never before. As the time passes and people get really aligned to finding what they need within them and around them, and making the most of the technology you do have, and making the most of the consciousness and awareness that's available to you, to create great innovation within your own lives. But that great innovation will offer you a different experience as you emerge from this time. You are being offered an opportunity truly to take a quantum leap into a whole new experience. You are also seeing how reliant you were on just doing what you thought you would always be able to do, instead of consciously questioning whether it was aligned or if that is where energy was leading you or guiding you to go. We'll give you some perfect examples. Oftentimes you have thought, well, I miss my loved one, so I need to jump on an airplane and go see them. And yet, oftentimes that's created greater separation from the people you love in your life, because you limited the experience to geographically, to being together. And so instead of having deep connection with them often, you waited for that connection to occur when you could be together in person. And now, because that option is not available to many of you, you are choosing to reach out in the now and connect and to love and to communicate with those who matter most to you in any and every way that's possible for you. You are using the technology that's in place for connection. You are using the technology that is in place for information. You are using the technology that is in place for innovation. And you're going to see that you just get more. For example, if you're used to going somewhere to connect with others, if you're used to going somewhere for a particular activity, if you're used to going somewhere for entertainment, you are finding means of bringing all of those things to you through innovation. And you're going to find that you're far more efficient, and you have a much greater experience of space and time in your life, where you can flow and allow energy to serve you and allow energy to guide you. It truly is a really magical time if you will allow it. And as you focus on creating your own heaven on earth in a way that feels almost constricting, although it's not, it's quite the contrary. Your focus at this time should be on creating your own heaven on earth, here and now, and then holding the vision for a grander perspective to emerge here as you create new paradigms of human existence that could only have come from this level of transformation occurring at one time globally. We're going to say something very important to you, and we want you to hear this and also remember that each and every one of you are here in this experience for your own expansion, your own experience, your own expression of all that you are. If you're hearing this, you're here as part of the Great Awakening, but you are also here to create your own heaven on earth and experience it to the fullest. You have the real potential to live in a fully awakened world by the year 2035 in Earth time, where all beings that remain on the planet are living in a higher dimension of consciousness, fully awakened and aware of the truth within them. This does not mean that all will experience their awakening through the spiritual path that many of you have taken. It is a raising of the consciousness on the planet where people will live at a higher rate of vibration and frequency and therefore experience the level of peace and joy and harmony that exists within those higher dimensions of consciousness. You will live in a world where all beings live harmoniously with each other, with the animals, with the land, and with the planet. And most importantly, all beings will live harmoniously within themselves. This is important, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason that the Great Awakening is important. There's a reason it's happening at this time. It is still a potential, because there is a great amount of free will choices that each and every one of you have. However, as we have said, you can live in a fully awakened world by 2035, but many, many more needed to be awakened by the year 2023 for this to occur. That is why you are seeing this time happen now. This is why you've been prepared for this time. There is an intelligence here. It does not mitigate your free will choices. And it also doesn't mean that you are here to serve and sacrifice and suffer to drag your entire human family over the finish line into an awakened state. That is not what we are saying. We are saying that the most important thing that you can do is create the heaven on earth that is available to you and live fully conscious and awakened and aware within your own creation of reality. And within that, most all of you are then going to choose to create new paradigms within human existence that are based on a higher perspective, a higher state of consciousness from a more awakened and aware viewpoint, where you are so conscious of your every action and choice and how it affects you, how it affects the world around you, and your ability to create the reality you live in, and your assured potential to transcend fear and suffering and chaos and tragedy and lack, not only in your human experience, but in the entire human experience. That is what the Great Awakening presents you, a potential as a human family to elevate your consciousness collectively out of fear and lack and suffering forevermore, to an experience of joy, peace, harmony, and abundance for all. It is not your job to figure out how to do all of that. It's your job to hold the vision and create it for yourself, to live it now, to choose it now, to be it now, and to allow it to express fully through you. There's much more to come. We have much more for you. We do not see this time as tragic. We know if you turn on your news and your television and you see the trauma and the drama and the suffering, it is hard to understand how this could ever be happening for some greater purpose. When you come into the human experience, oftentimes you learn to fear more than anything else, making your transition out of the human experience. And so much emphasis is placed on the fear of death, the fear of how you're going to die, the fear of suffering your way to death. It does not have to be that way for anyone, but we understand that it's still what many experience. See those that are making their transition surrounded in light, surrounded in peace. When you want something for others, when you see others in fear or chaos or suffering, it is so important that you decide in that moment, the conscious creator that you are, what is it that you choose? What do you want more of in that moment? What do you want for you, and what do you want for them? You don't get to choose for them, but you do get to choose for you. And by choosing it for you, it helps them to remember that a grander potential and possibility is available for them just as it is for you. And it makes it easier for them to find their way back to the peace within them that is always available to them as well. So when you see others that are suffering, ask yourself in that moment, come into the present moment and take a breath and say, what do I want here? What do I want more of? What do I want to create? And if the answer is peace, then go into your own being and feel the peace that is within you and activate every cell of your body to align with that peace. And then focus that feeling of peace so strongly that it is radiating from your being in every direction all around you. And see it going out into the hearts of all of those that you love and care about and wish peace for. This you can do. We also want to remind you that when you say, well, there's suffering going on in the world, and you turn on the television and you see the suffering that's happening out there, we remind you it is not happening in your direct energy field unless you draw it to you through your focus and attention on it. When you look at others' experiences out there because your televisions give you some perspective, you are actually suffering worse than the person that's in the experience. You truly are. And we're not saying that they're not suffering, but we're saying that you do not have to choose it for you. And in that moment that they really are in that experience, they have an energy, an awareness, a source that is also guiding them because they're in that experience. And you cannot observe it from a television perspective without creating a great amount of suffering for yourself, even though your direct experience in your world has the potential to be a peaceful, joyful, heavenly experience here and now for you. If you are one And some of our friends are doctors. Some of our friends are nurses. Some of our friends are in positions where they are at ground zero, sort of say, where they are interacting with those affected. And we tell you that you are so incredibly guided, supported, loved, and held in the light by all those in higher dimensions of consciousness and greater frequencies of light in every moment. And if you will open to that, you will feel it. You will feel a sense of peace, a sense of well-being. And remember, you always have a choice. You always have a light that is guiding you. You always, in every moment, can elevate your consciousness and therefore elevate your experience out of fear and chaos and trauma and suffering. This is a truth within you that somewhere you know, or you wouldn't be hearing it now. We are here to remind you of the truth within you. We are here because we promised we would be, especially now. You drew this information to you because it belongs to you. It's the truth within you that you never intended to forget, of who you are and why you are here, and the power that you have to create in this human experience and to hold the highest perspective of a better way and a new paradigm that is emerging. You are here to illuminate the potential for humankind. Remember who you are. Remember why you are here. Remember how important you are. And in this time, when you may feel like you are not free to be the way showers that you are, to connect the way you wish to do the things you wish to do, maybe it's because there's something better trying to present itself to you. Maybe there's something better. But then the things you thought were so important every day, maybe there's something better. Maybe there's something more. Maybe there's something more awakening within you. Maybe there's something even better than how you were living your life. And this is the very experience that has been orchestrated for you to allow something better, something bigger, something greater to express itself through you or to present itself to you. So, we are always with you. We are always available to you. And many of you in this time are also going to awaken to gifts and talents and abilities that somewhere within you, you know you have, even if you don't really know what they are. Many of you know there's some greater purpose for your life. Many of you know there's some greater calling, some greater purpose, some greater knowing that you have. But your day-to-day life distractions didn't allow you to tune in to fully remember. until now. Let all things unfold with ease and grace. Let it come in its time and in its way. Our only ask of you is to stay open and allow and let energy light the way. And what a better time to become an absolute master at allowing energy to guide the way than this time now, where you have a greater potential to follow the energy and the light and what you're guided to each day, instead of all the things you used to think you had to do. This time is a gift. And you are also the gift to humanity and to those around you and those you love during this time. Be all that you are. Live all that you know. Be the way showers that you are of a better way forward. And you are the creator within your own creation. You are creating every moment. And in times like this, you have the greatest opportunity to completely transcend the unwanted, the limitation, the old stories, and to create your entire experience anew in a new world, in a new paradigm, where anything and everything is possible for you. This is sacred time for you to take a moment and connect to the highest vision possible for your life experience, and then to create it starting now, and to live it in this moment, here and now, and forever more. There is a purpose for all of this. There is a purpose for you. You still have the ability to choose in every moment what you are contributing to, what you are creating. And there is a potential here for the most incredible transformation of human consciousness that has ever occurred in any lifetime. There is the potential for innovation that will greatly expand your role in the universe. There's a reason for humanity to awaken, because on the other side of an awakened human family is a grander potential for Earth and humanity in the vast and beautiful universe. There is much more to come about this that we will share with you. We have brought in a great amount of information for you in this time. We remind you, you are everything you wish to be. You already are. And we love you. We love you. We love you. And so it is.